Nick Viall had always lived his life in the public eye. From his heartbreak on The Bachelorette to his second chance on Bachelor in Paradise, and eventually leading The Bachelor himself, he had shared some of his most vulnerable moments with the world. But nothing prepared him for the pain of this loss. Natalie Joy, his fiancée and love of his life, sat beside him in silence as they prepared to do something incredibly difficult: honor the pregnancy they had lost. It wasn't just their grief. It was a story they knew could bring comfort to others. It had started with a whisper of hope. Natalie had taken the pregnancy test in the quiet of their home, hands trembling with both excitement and fear. When the 2 lines appeared, she covered her mouth, emotions flooding her all at once. Nick had always been supportive about starting a family, but she worried. Would he be ready? When she walked into the living room, clutching the test behind her back, she saw him sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone. "What's up?" he asked, looking up at her with a smile. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Nick, we're pregnant." For a second, time stood still. His face morphed into shock, then pure joy. "Are you serious?" She nodded, and he was on his feet in an instant, wrapping her in his arms, holding her so tightly she could feel his heartbeat against hers. "We're going to be parents," he whispered into her hair, voice thick with emotion. For the next few weeks, they floated on air, dreaming of their future as a family. They told their closest friends and family, imagining names, nursery themes, and tiny fingers curling around theirs. It felt like magic. But magic, as they soon learned, could be fleeting. Natalie had sensed something was wrong before the doctor said anything. The ultrasound technician's usual cheerful demeanor was missing. The room was too quiet. Nick's grip on her hand tightened as he too realized something was off. "I'm so sorry," the doctor finally said. "There's no heartbeat." Natalie felt her entire body go numb. No. This wasn't happening. Nick's arms were around her before she even realized she was shaking, his voice breaking as he whispered, "I'm here, I'm here." They left the office in silence, the joy they had once carried feeling unbearably heavy. The next days blurred together. Tears, questions, the ache of something they had already loved slipping through their fingers. And then came the grief they had to face publicly. They debated keeping it private. But Natalie felt a pull, an obligation to other women who had gone through the same heartbreak in silence. So they decided to share. Nick took to Instagram first, writing a post that didn't hide their pain. "This isn't the news we ever thought we'd have to share, but sometimes life has different plans. We lost our baby. It's been heartbreaking. But we know we're not alone in this. If you've been through this, we see you, we honor you, and we hold on to hope for what the future might bring." The response was overwhelming. Thousands of messages poured in, some from fans, some from strangers who had suffered the same loss and never spoken about it. Natalie shared her own words, raw and honest. Grief is love with nowhere to go, and today I feel so much love. Their vulnerability turned into something beautiful, a community of support, a reminder that they weren't alone. Healing wasn't linear. Some days Natalie woke up and felt a little lighter. Other days, the grief hit like a wave, knocking her breath away. Nick grieved too, in his own quiet way. He held her closer at night, left her small notes of encouragement, and never let her feel alone in the pain. One evening, they sat outside under the stars, holding hands. "What if we do something to honor them?" Natalie whispered. Nick turned to her. "Like what?" She took a deep breath. "Something meaningful, a way to keep them with us always." They thought about planting a tree, creating a keepsake, or writing letters they'd never sent. Finally, they settled on something simple but profound, a candle lit every year on the due date that would never come. A quiet moment to acknowledge the love they had for a child they never got to meet. It wasn't closure, because grief doesn't always come with closure. But it was a way to move forward while still carrying their love with them. Months passed. The pain dulled but never disappeared. Nick and Natalie leaned on each other, their bond stronger than ever. They talked about trying again one day, not to replace what they lost, but to embrace hope again. And through it all, they honored their baby, not just with candles or words, but with the love they carried forward. Because love, even in loss, never truly fades. Would you like me to expand on any particular section or add more emotional depth?